Have you heard about this company in India that's really making a name for itself in aerospace manufacturing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're winning some pretty big contracts with some big global companies.
Wow.
And their latest financial report, well, it's got everyone talking.
I can imagine. Sounds like a real success story.
It really is.
So who are we talking about here?
We're diving into PTC Industries Limited.
Okay, PTC Industries.
They've been around for a while, actually,
Well,
60 years.
oh, wow.
And they specialize in high precision metal components.
Okay, so that's their bread and butter.
It is.
High precision metal components.
And we've got a bunch of stuff to look at today to really dig into their story.
All right, lay it on me.
We've got their Q2 FY25 results.
Okay.
We've got a presentation they put together for investors.
Got it.
And we've got some chatter from analysts about the company. So
Perfect. Sounds like we've got a lot to unpack.
yeah. So where should we start with all this?
Well, I always like to start with the numbers.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Let's take a look at their financials.
Okay.
Their profit after tax for Q2 FY25, are you ready for this?
Yeah, hit me.
Grew by 113% year over year.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
113%.
113%.
That's incredible.
It is.
That's massive.
Yeah,
But I thought their total income had actually dipped a little in the first half of the year.
that's right. You're right.
So how did that work?
So their total income dipped slightly, it's true,
Okay.
but their EBITDA saw a significant jump,
Okay.
61% year over year.
And just remind me what EBITDA stands for again.
Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
Oh, okay.
Essentially, it means their core profitability is strong.
Oh.
They're making money from their core operations.
So even though their income dipped, they actually became more profitable.
Exactly. They're managing costs effectively and becoming more efficient.
Okay.
And that kind of financial performance, it definitely points to a company on an upward trajectory.
I mean, it's exciting to see that kind of growth, especially in such a competitive industry, right?
Absolutely.
Makes you wonder what they're doing right.
Yeah.
Do we know anything about how their different business segments are performing?
That's a great question. I wish we had that level of detail.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the materials we have don't break it down that way.
Okay.
It would have been interesting to see which segments are driving the success.
Yeah, totally.
You know, are they seeing growth across the board?
Right.
Or are there certain areas that are really outperforming others?
I'm curious about the competition, too.
Yeah, me too.
Like, how do they stack up against their rivals?
Yeah.
Do they have any, like, secret weapons?
Right. Any secret sauce?
Yeah.
Well, the sources we have don't really delve into specific competitor analysis.
Okay.
But, you know, from my experience in the industry, the global supply chain for titanium, especially for aerospace-grade titanium, it's incredibly complex
No, I bet.
and competitive.
Yeah, I can
It's a
imagine.
really tough market to crack.
So how is PTC navigating this complex and competitive market?
Yeah, what's their edge?
What are they doing?
Well, one of their big moves was strategic.
Okay.
They acquired a hot rolling mill
Hmm.
from the USA.
Interesting.
And this allows them to do something pretty cool,
What's that?
produce titanium alloy plates and sheets,
Okay.
which is a product that's in high demand,
I see. Okay.
but not readily available in India.
Okay, so they saw a gap in the market
Exactly.
and they went for it.
They did, and this positions them really well.
How so?
Well, it fills that gap in the Indian market,
Right.
but it also makes them a key player globally.
Okay, so what does this mean for the average person?
Okay, so think about it this way.
Okay.
The demand for aerospace-grade titanium is only going up
Makes sense.
with this acquisition.
Uh-huh.
PTC is in a great position
Yeah.
to capitalize on that growth,
Yeah.
potentially becoming like the go-to supplier
Wow.
for international aerospace companies.
So they're not just thinking about today, they're thinking about the future.
Absolutely. They're playing the long game.
And I read that they're also building a new facility, right?
Yeah, right.
To house this mill.
That's right. It's going to be in the Lucknow node of the Uttar Pradesh Defense Industrial Corridor.
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
It is a bit of a mouthful, but it's a strategically important location.
Okay.
And you know what this does? It creates complete titanium value chain at a single site.
Wow. So they control everything from start to finish.
Exactly. Talk about vertical integration.
Okay, vertical integration.
Yeah.
That sounds impressive.
It is, but you know what it makes me think about?
What's that?
The risks.
Oh yeah, there's always risks.
What if something disrupts that supply chain?
Right, what if something happens to that one facility?
It's a valid point.
Yeah.
Vertical integration can be a powerful strategy,
Okay.
but it does concentrate risk.
Yeah. So maybe they need to think about backup plans or something.
It will be interesting to see how they manage that.
Definitely.
But you know what else is interesting?
What's that?
They're focusing on titanium recycling.
Oh, that's great. It's good for the environment, right?
Absolutely. It aligns perfectly with the global push for sustainability.
So it's not just a PR stunt.
No, not at all.
They're actually, like, committed to it.
They're taking it seriously.
Okay.
They're actively working to reduce their environmental impact.
How so?
Well, they're reusing scrap titanium,
Okay.
which also reduces their reliance on mining new materials.
So they're, like, turning trash into treasure.
Pretty much. Less waste, lower carbon footprint.
I love it. Okay. And on top of all of this, they've landed some pretty impressive contracts.
Oh, absolutely. Get ready for some big names.
Okay, tell me.
PTC just signed a contract with Israel Aerospace Industries,
Oh, wow.
IAI,
Okay.
to supply titanium cast components.
Wow.
And get this,
Yeah.
this is the first time IAI is sourcing these components from India.
No way. Really?
It's a landmark deal for PTC
Yeah.
and for the Make in India initiative.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows that they're really being recognized on the global stage.
It's a big vote of confidence.
Equally.
And there's more.
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Okay.
They also secured a substantial contract
Okay.
with BAE Systems.
BAE Systems. Wow.
Yeah.
They're big.
They are
Okay.
to supply titanium castings for the M777 ultra-lightweight howitzer.
Wow. These are serious players in the defense industry.
Absolutely.
It says a lot about what PTC can do.
It does. It speaks volumes about their capabilities and the trust these companies have in them.
Yeah, and it's no wonder their financials look so good, right?
Right. All these strategic moves are clearly paying off.
Okay, so we've covered their impressive financial performance, their
Mhm.
move into the titanium market, and these game-changing contracts.
Right.
But there's got to be more to the story.
Oh, there's always more.
What else sets PTC apart?
Yeah, what's beyond the numbers?
Like, what's happening beyond just the raw data?
Well, one thing that stands out is their focus on innovation and technology.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
They've developed several proprietary technologies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they've got these cool names like Replicast,
Volcast. Yeah.
Rapidcast, Printcast, and ForgeCast.
It sounds like a sci-fi movie or something.
They do sound pretty futuristic, don't they?
Yeah.
But these technologies are all about pushing the boundaries of high-precision metal component manufacturing.
Okay, so what do those fancy names actually mean?
So imagine a world where you can create metal components
Okay.
with incredible precision and speed
All right.
using robots and advanced casting techniques.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
That's what PTC is achieving with these technologies.
Okay.
Replicast, for example, uses 7-axis robots.
7-axis robots. Wow.
Yeah, that's some serious automation
Okay.
to create incredibly precise patterns for casting.
So it's like 3D printing.
Yeah, you could say that, but for metal,
7-axis robots. I mean, that sounds really complicated.
it is pretty sophisticated technology, but it allows them to achieve what's called near net shape casting.
Okay, near net shape casting. What is that?
So basically, the final cast component requires minimal additional machining.
Okay, so less work after the initial casting.
Right, and that significantly reduces waste and improves efficiency.
Okay, so it's not just about the robots, it's about being smarter with their manufacturing.
Exactly. They're getting it right the first time
Okay,
with very little need for further refinement,
smart.
which ultimately saves them time, material, and money.
That's impressive. What about rapid cast? What makes that one so rapid?
So with rapid cast, they use ceramic shells for casting,
Okay.
which allows them to create much larger components,
Okay.
weighing up to 2,500 kilograms.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is.
So it's faster and more efficient compared to like traditional sand casting.
Exactly.
Okay, so they're really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with casting technology.
They really are, but, it's not all about the machines.
Right, of course not. It's about the people too.
Exactly, and PTC really emphasizes that.
Oh, that's good.
They've got this experienced management team,
Okay.
and they're really committed to human resource development.
That's so important, I think, in any company,
Oh, absolutely.
but especially in a high-tech field like this.
You need skilled workers.
Yeah.
PTC gets that.
Okay.
They've implemented these comprehensive training programs,
Wow.
not just for technical skills,
Oh, that's interesting.
but also for leadership competencies.
Okay.
And even core values like integrity and agility.
It sounds like they're really trying to create a strong company culture.
They are.
Yeah.
Investing in their employees' growth
Yeah.
and well-being.
I think that's really smart
Oh, absolutely.
because, you take care of your people
Yeah.
and they'll take care of you.
It creates a much stronger company overall.
Exactly. But you know what I'm wondering?
Oh, that.
We've talked about their renewable energy efforts, but what about the environmental impact of their actual manufacturing processes?
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
It's one thing to talk about sustainability,
Right.
but it's another to actually implement it in your operations.
So what are they doing?
Well, PTC acknowledges the environmental challenges
Okay.
that come with metal manufacturing,
Right.
and they're actively trying to minimize their impact.
How so?
Well, their focus on titanium recycling is a prime example.
Oh, right, right.
By reusing scrap titanium,
Right.
they're reducing waste and lowering their carbon footprint.
And I think you said earlier that the recycled titanium is just as good as the new stuff.
Exactly. Advancements in recycling technologies have made it possible to produce high-quality titanium alloys from recycled materials.
So they're not sacrificing quality
Not at all.
for sustainability.
It's a win-win for everyone.
Now, we've talked a lot about their technological advancements and their sustainability efforts, but I'm curious about their people.
Yeah.
How are they attracting and keeping top talent in such a competitive industry?
Well, PTC gets it.
Yeah.
They understand that their people are their most valuable asset.
Okay.
They've implemented these human resource development programs that prioritize continuous learning and skill enhancement.
So it's not just about hiring.
Right.
It's about, developing your people.
Exactly.
Okay.
Their training framework focuses on both technical and leadership competencies.
So they're really trying to build well-rounded employees?
They are. They want their workforce to be prepared for anything.
Okay. I like that approach.
It's smart.
It's investing in the future,
Absolutely.
both for the company and for the employees.
Exactly. And it creates a really positive work environment,
Yeah, but
which helps with attracting and retaining talent.
yeah, people want to work for companies that care about their growth
Exactly.
and that offer opportunities to learn and advance.
Exactly. It's not just about getting a job. It's about building a career.
Okay, so we've covered their innovative technologies, their commitment to sustainability, and their people-centric approach.
We have.
Now, let's circle back to those impressive financial figures.
All right, let's talk numbers.
113% year-over-year growth in profit after tax is no small feat.
It's remarkable.
How do they do it?
It's a testament to their strategic decisions,
Okay.
operational efficiency,
Okay.
and their focus on high-value products.
So they're making smart choices.
They are.
Okay.
And they're doing it well.
They're not just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Nope. They've got a plan.
They've got a vision.
And they're executing it effectively.
And they're expanding margins. That suggests that they're becoming more profitable as they grow.
Exactly.
That's a really healthy sign.
It is. It indicates that their growth is sustainable.
Okay.
It's not just a one-time thing.
Right.
They're managing costs effectively
Okay.
and generating more profit from each rupee of revenue.
So, to sum it all up, we've explored their impressive financial performance, their strategic expansion into the titanium market, their cutting-edge technologies, their commitment to sustainability, and their focus on human resource development.
It's a compelling story, isn't it?
It really is, and it's not just about PTC.
Right.
Their success is a reflection of something bigger.
What do you mean?
It's a reflection of India's growing prominence in the global manufacturing landscape.
You're right. It's a sign of India's potential
Exactly.
to become a hub for high-tech manufacturing and innovation.
And it's exciting to see that happening.
It is. It's a really positive development.
But we're not done yet.
Oh, there's more.
There's always more to the story.
Okay, what else is there?
We need to look at the potential challenges and risks that PTC might face.
Right, because every success story has its share of obstacles.
Exactly.
And understanding those potential hurdles is essential.
Yeah, so we can get a complete picture.
Right, a comprehensive assessment of PTC's future prospects.
So let's flip the script for a second. Okay.
And explore the other side of the coin.
The flip side.
Yeah. What are some of the headwinds that PTC might encounter?
Okay, so one obvious challenge is the intensely competitive nature of the industry.
Yeah, aerospace is tough.
It is. It's dominated by these big established players.
Right, with deep pockets.
Deep pockets and loads of experience.
Yeah, so how does PTC compete with that?
It's a good question, and it won't be easy.
So they really need to be on their game.
They do. They need to constantly innovate.
Okay.
Stay ahead of the curve.
And stay ahead of the competition.
Exactly. They can't just rest on their laurels.
So what else should investors be thinking about?
Well, geopolitical risks are a big concern for any company in this sector.
Right. The defense and aerospace industry is very sensitive to global events.
It is, and PTC's contracts with international defense companies
Yeah.
like IAI and BAE Systems expose them to those risks.
Right. Things can change quickly in that world.
They can, and PTC needs to be prepared.
So, what are some of the things they should be thinking about? Well, changes in government policies, trade tensions, even regional conflicts, those could all have an impact.
Yeah, so they need to be agile
Absolutely. They need to be able to adapt.
and have plans in place if things go sideways.
Contingency plans are essential.
What about their supply chain? We talked about their vertical integration strategy, but is that enough?
Well, it's a good start, but even with vertical integration, they're not immune to supply chain disruptions.
Right, they're all always things outside of your control.
Exactly.
So what should they be doing?
Well, the global supply chain for raw materials like titanium, it's complex.
Yeah.
And there are lots of factors that could cause problems.
Like what?
Natural disasters,
Okay.
political instability, even pandemics.
Yeah, those are all real risks.
They are. And PTC needs to be prepared.
So how do they do that?
Diversify their sourcing,
Okay.
build strong relationships with their suppliers,
Right.
and have really robust inventory management systems.
So they're not caught off guard. It seems like PTC is facing this classic dilemma,
Oh, what's that?
balancing growth with risk management.
It's a tough balance to strike,
It is.
especially for a company with ambitious goals.
Right, but it's a balance they need to find?
Absolutely, because growth often comes with risks
Yeah, so it's about managing those risks.
and making calculated decisions.
So they're not putting the entire company at stake.
Exactly.
It's about making smart choices that will lead to long-term success.
Sustainable growth.
Okay, so we've looked at
Good.
the impressive growth,
The technological advancement.
their commitment to sustainability.
Their focus on people.
It's a great story,
It is.
but we've also acknowledged the challenges,
The competition.
the geopolitical risks.
The potential supply chain vulnerabilities.
Right, because it's important to see the whole picture,
Exactly.
the good and the bad.
And to remember that investing is always a risk.
Yes.
There are no guarantees.
That's why it's so important to do your research.
And to understand the company you're investing in. Absolutely.
But before we move on,
Yeah.
there's one more thing we need to address.
Oh, what's that?
It's something that often gets overlooked, but it's really important.
Okay. I'm intrigued. What is it?
Corporate governance.
Ah, yes, corporate governance.
It's a foundation of a well-run company.
It is. It's about trust and accountability.
Exactly. It's about doing the right thing,
Even when no one is watching.
even when no one is watching, and it's about having strong ethical standards.
Absolutely.
So how does PTC measure up in this area?
Well, from what we can see, PTC seems committed to good corporate governance.
We'll write this.
Their investor presentations and financial reports are detailed
Okay.
and transparent, which is a good sign.
Yeah, transparency is key.
It is. And they've also emphasized their commitment to ethical conduct
Okay.
and compliance with all the relevant industry standards.
It sounds like they're trying to do things the right way.
They are, and they're also promoting diversity and inclusion within the company.
Okay, that's good to hear.
It's a sign of a healthy corporate culture.
Good corporate governance is not just about avoiding scandals, it's about building a sustainable and responsible business.
Absolutely. One that benefits all stakeholders,
Their employees,
their customers,
their investors,
the community.
everyone.
Exactly. It's about doing business the right way.
So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. We've looked at PTC's impressive growth, their strategic initiatives, their technological innovations, their commitment to sustainability, and their people-centric approach.
We've also acknowledged the challenges they face.
The competition, the geopolitical risks, and the potential supply chain vulnerabilities.
And we've touched upon the importance of corporate governance.
It's been a comprehensive deep dive.
It has, but we're not quite finished yet.
Oh, there's more.
There's one crucial piece of the puzzle still missing.
Okay, I'm all ears. What is it?
Valuation.
Ah, valuation, the million-dollar question.
We've explored everything else.
Their financials, their growth potential, the risks, their corporate governance.
Now we need to figure out if PTC Industries is actually a good investment at its current price.
Right, is the market undervaluing them?
Or are they overvalued?
That's what we'll be diving into next time,
So stay tuned for the next part of our deep dive.
where we'll tackle the all-important question of valuation.
We'll see if PTC truly lives up to the hype.
Can't wait. You know those contracts we were talking about with IAI and BAE Systems?
Yeah, those are pretty impressive, right?
They are, and I think they're worth a closer look.
Okay, Let's dive in.
especially the one with IAI.
What about it?
This is the first time they're sourcing titanium cast components from India.
Right. It's a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
I mean, it's not every day you see an Indian company breaking into that market.
Exactly. It's a specialized global market,
Right.
and PTC is now a player.
So what do you think is driving this?
I think it's a combination of factors.
Oh, okay, like what?
Well, cost competitiveness is definitely a part of it.
Right. Companies are always looking to save money.
Of course, but it's not just about being the cheap.
Okay, so what else is there?
India has been making some serious strides in aerospace manufacturing,
I've heard that, yeah.
and government initiatives like Make in India have really helped.
Right, they're trying to encourage more domestic production.
Exactly, and it's working.
So global companies are starting to take notice
They are. They're looking for reliable partners who can deliver high-quality components.
at competitive prices.
Of course, that's always a
So
factor.
it's like a win-win.
It is.
India gets to boost its manufacturing sector,
Right.
and global companies get access to a new pool of talent and resources.
Exactly. It's a smart move for everyone involved.
Okay, so it's not just about cost savings, it's about recognizing the skills and expertise that India has to offer.
Precisely. And I think the contract with BAE Systems really reinforces that point.
How so?
Well, they're supplying titanium castings for the M777 howitzer.
Right, that's a pretty sophisticated piece of equipment.
It is. It requires a high level of technical expertise and precision.
It's not something you just hand over to anyone.
Exactly. BAE Systems wouldn't trust just any company with that kind of responsibility.
So these contracts are a pretty big feather in PTC's cap.
They are. It shows that they can compete on a global stage.
And it's good for the Indian economy too, right?
Oh, absolutely. These contracts contribute to India's ambition to become a major player in the defense and aerospace sectors.
So it's like a positive feedback loop.
You could say that.
PTC's success helps India's success and vice versa.
Exactly. And I think this is part of a larger trend.
What do you mean?
Global defense companies are diversifying their supply chains.
Okay, so they're not just relying on the same old sources.
Right. They're looking for new partners in emerging markets,
Like India.
like India. And this makes them less reliant on single suppliers.
Which spreads the risk.
Exactly. And it also fosters innovation through collaboration.
It's a win-win for everyone.
It really is.
So let's get back to PTC's technology for a second.
Okay, those fancy names.
Yeah, those are really interesting.
Replicast, Rapidcast.
Printcast, ForgeCast.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? But they're real.
They are.
And they're giving PTC a real competitive edge.
Okay, let's break it down.
Yeah, let's start with Replicast.
All right, so Replicast uses 7-axis CNC machining robots.
Whoa, 7-axis, that sounds intense.
It is, but these robots are incredibly precise.
Okay, and what do they do?
They create patterns for casting.
Patterns, like molds.
Exactly. Think of it like 3D printing, but for metal.
So they're using robots to build the molds for their metal components.
Precisely. And this allows them to achieve near-net shape casting.
Near-net shape casting.
It means that the final cast component requires minimal machining.
So it's basically ready to go right out of the mold.
Pretty much. It significantly reduces waste and improves efficiency.
So they're saving time and money.
Exactly. And producing higher quality components.
Okay, so Replicast is all about precision and efficiency.
It is.
What about Rapidcast? What makes it so rapid?
Rapidcast uses ceramic shells for casting.
Okay, and how is that different?
It allows them to produce much larger components,
Okay.
weighing up to 2,500 kilograms.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is. And it's much faster and more efficient compared to traditional sand casting.
So they're really pushing the boundaries of what's possible in casting technology.
They are. They're constantly innovating and finding new ways to improve their processes.
And they're not just focused on technology.
We're right. We talked about their commitment to sustainability.
And their people.
Exactly. PTC understands that their employees are their most valuable asset.
They've invested a lot in human resource development.
They have. They offer comprehensive training programs.
And they emphasize continuous learning and skill enhancement.
They want their workforce to be the best it can be.
So they're not just hiring people, they're developing them.
Exactly. They're creating a culture of learning and growth within the company.
And that's good for everyone.
It is. It benefits the employees, and it benefits the company.
So they're taking a holistic approach
They are.
to their business.
They're thinking about the long term.
And they're investing in their future.
It's a smart strategy,
It is.
and it seems to be working.
Yeah, those financial figures are pretty impressive.
113% year-over-year growth in profit.
That's not something you see every day.
It's not. And their expanding margins suggest that they're becoming even more profitable as they grow.
So they're not just growing for the sake of growth, they're growing strategically.
Exactly.
And that's what we like to see.
It is. It's a sign of a healthy and sustainable business.
Okay, so PTC is doing a lot of things right.
They are. They're innovative. They're committed to sustainability. They're investing in their people. And they're delivering impressive financial results.
But it's not all sunshine and roses, right?
Right. We talked about some of the challenges they face,
The competition,
the geopolitical risks.
the potential supply chain vulnerabilities.
It's important to remember that every investment opportunity comes with risks.
Exactly. There are no guarantees.
But by understanding those risks, investors can make more informed decisions.
So we've looked at the good, the bad, and the ugly.
We've tried to paint a complete picture of PTC Industries.
We've explored their strengths, their weaknesses, and the challenges they face.
We've given you the information you need to form your own opinion.
Now it's up to you to decide whether or not PTC is a good investment for you.
But before you make that decision, there's one more thing we need to talk about.
Okay, what's that?
Valuation.
Ah, yes, the million-dollar question.
We've looked at their financials, their growth potential, their risks, and their corporate governance.
But we haven't talked about how much they're actually worth.
Exactly. And that's what we'll be diving into in the final part of our deep dive.
We'll explore different valuation methodologies, analyze comparable companies, and try to determine if PTC's stock is fairly valued, undervalued, or overvalued.
So stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll tackle the crucial question of valuation.
We'll see if PTC truly lives up to the hype. All right, so we've dug into PTC's financials. We've seen their moves in the titanium market, learned about their technology, considered the risks, and talked about how they treat their people and the environment. Now it comes down to brass tacks. Is PTC Industries a good investment?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right?
It is. And to answer it, we need to figure out, is PTC Industries a good buy at its current price?
We've got to tackle the valuation. Is the market really seeing PTC's potential, or is there something we're missing?
Okay, so where do we even start with this whole valuation thing? It seems pretty complicated.
Yeah, it can be, but let's start simple. How about the price-to-earnings ratio?
Oh yeah, the PE ratio. That tells us how much investors are willing to pay for each rupee of earnings, right? Higher PE usually means people are optimistic.
You got it. But to know if PTC's PE ratio makes sense, we need to compare it to other similar companies.
Okay, so like other companies in the aerospace and defense industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got to compare apples to apples, right?
But are there really any companies that are like a perfect match for PTC? Same size, same business model, same everything.
A perfect match is tough to find in the stock market, but we can look at companies with some similarities.
Okay, so like other companies that make high-precision metal components, especially for aerospace and defense.
Exactly. Companies facing similar challenges and opportunities.
Okay, that makes sense. So how does PTC's PE ratio stack up against those companies?
Well, that's where we hit a snag. The information we have doesn't give us PTC's current stock price.
Ah, so we can't calculate the PE ratio right now?
Not precisely, no. But even if we had it, valuation's not just about plugging numbers into a formula.
Right, there's a lot of interpretation involved.
Exactly. That's why we look at multiple things, not just the PE ratio.
Okay, so what else can we look at? What other tools are there?
How about the price-to-book ratio? The PB ratio.
Okay, and remind me what that tells us.
The PB ratio compares the company's market value to its book value, basically the value of its assets minus its liabilities.
So lower PB ratio, maybe the company's undervalued, higher, maybe it's overvalued.
Could be. But we need context. We need to see how PTC's PB ratio compares to its industry buddies.
But again, we'd need more detailed financial data to really do that comparison.
You got it. Without that, it's tough to say for sure.
So it seems like we're missing some pieces to get a really clear picture of PTC's valuation. But what about the bigger picture, beyond just the numbers?
Now you're talking. There are a lot of things that can affect the company's valuation that aren't just about the numbers.
Okay, like what kind of things?
Well, think about the management team. Do they have a good track record?
Right, a strong management team can really make a difference.
Exactly. What about competitive advantages?
Like a unique product or technology.
Exactly. And what about the industry as a whole?
So like if the aerospace and defense sector is expected to grow a lot, companies like PTC might be seen as more valuable.
Exactly. It's not just about today, it's about tomorrow too. Are they riding the wave or fighting the current?
That's a good way to put it. So valuation is really a mix of hard numbers and a gut feeling about the future.
It is. Art and science all rolled into one.
And we can't forget, things can change quickly in the market.
Oh, yeah. News, events, what people are feeling, that can all shift the valuation really fast.
So investors really need to stay on their toes, do their homework.
Absolutely. And be ready to adjust their thinking.
Well, we've certainly explored a lot about PTC industries today.
We have.
We've gone through their growth, their move into titanium, their innovative technologies. We've looked at how they're tackling sustainability and how they treat their people. And of course, we've discussed the potential risks and the importance of good corporate governance.
And we've given everyone the tools to start figuring out the big question of valuation.
Exactly. This deep dive is just the beginning. We've given you the information. Now it's up to you to keep digging and reach your own conclusions about PTC.
Remember, investing is all about making informed decisions that are right for you.
So do your research, ask the right questions, and happy investing, everyone.